Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Want to do a little weekend roundup. Didn't get too much done this weekend, but did get quite a bit done. So we're obviously getting ready for Pizza Feast. That's going to happen next Saturday. We're going to go do a little practice on Friday. I think just make sure cars are good and good to go. Cougar is refreshed. There's nothing there. I mounted up a couple sets of tires, so we have some Smoothie 2s and we have some Smoothie 3s. So either thick or thin sidewall, we're going to see what happens there. So we are going to test them both on Friday and then see what works. And then that will be our tire of choice for Saturday. On the four-wheel drive, same thing. We got some J-Concept Smoothie 2s on there. We have some Smoothie 3s. I glued some up for our Durango. So I got a whole set. I got Proline S3s, I got brand new J-Concept Smoothie 2s, and I got Smoothie 3s to test on that. And then the same thing, basically for the Yokomo, it's going to be J-Concepts Smoothie 2s or Smoothie 3s. I didn't buy any Prolines for that, so I think we'll be all right, and we'll get those mounted up. I am going to switch the diff out to 10K. So these cars come with 5K. That's probably a little too light, considering the grip of the track and stuff at MHOR. So we're going to go to 10K. We're not going to go 15, 10 or whatever like we on our Durango, but we are going to go 10 and 10, see where that's at. And we might. So we do have 15K diff fluid, so we will, and we have 7K, so we have 5, 7, 10, 15. And that should be enough to get us tuned in there and see where we're at. Hopefully, cross your fingers, there's a four-wheel drive vintage class. I don't think there will be, but yeah, we'll run it anyway. Runner a Cougar because there is a two-wheel drive class, and I think there might be a truck. There's some rumblings about guys running trucks, and they're talking about maybe putting the motor limit at 17.5, which I think is great. The only reason we did 13.5 or ran 13.5 is because the normal stadium truck class is 13.5, so if you showed up, you could run 13.5 stadium truck with the newer stuff. But if there's going to be enough vintage stuff, I would like to see that go to 17.5. I think that would be great. The Durango, mine is built and done. Got everything done on that. Got it all wired up. You've seen the videos on it. The only thing I'm going to do is I had enough parts. I built 2 lightweight diffs. So if you're not familiar with what lightweight diffs are, Durango came out with lightweight outdrives that are lightened up. They're also a little bit shorter because the ones on the Durangos are extremely long. And then you put in a plastic gear set. So I don't have the Durango part number. The outdrives, it's 310, 275 for the lightweight outdrives. You take all the metal gears out and leave your sun gear, obviously your ring gear, your 2 sun gears are that. And then all your little beveled gears with the cross pins. You take the metal ones out, you put the plastic ones in. 17.5, it's going to be just fine. So I built 2 lightweight diffs, and we're going to put 15 for the front and 10 in the back and let her rip. And then we'll have 2 other diffs. I ordered some more cases and everything because I could probably build a couple, I think 1 lightweight diff where I could just have it ready to fill if I wanted to do a quick switch out. So we may do that. These are actually for Justin's car. So Justin's 410, we basically have done. I built it kind of just with all the parts, and then I actually started going through it. So on that car, let's see, we did the D joints for the shafts. So mine has the regular UJs. After the CVDs, and the CVDs were blown up lipos, Durango came out with what they called the D joint system. So it's basically like 2 joints in there, and that was to basically reduce some of the binding that maybe the CVDs had. So I did that, put those in there, put UJs on the front along with the aluminum caster blocks. I did do the aluminum mounts. So the A mount or bumper mount was always aluminum. And then the B, C, and D mount you could get in plastic. So I did put aluminum in the front there. And then we did the aluminums in the back for the C and D. And then what's nice about the The C block is, you can do +2 or -2 just by flipping the block. So that's another tuning option. Obviously, the rear flex brace system is a tuning option. New CVDs in the back, so CVDs, and then I just put a dust boot on there to help with that. Got to figure out kind of the pins, because like I said, the associated don't clamp down that great. So have to do some experimenting and see whose 12mm clamps will work. But yeah, Justin's car's about ready to go, and I got the parts set aside for him. So if he wants to do a lightweight diff setup like I have on my 410, he's going to have all the capability to do that. All he's got to do is switch out the outdrives, which I kind of have a bag of spares, and then obviously the small bevel gears in there, just insert into each one as well. And so, like I said, if you're into Durango, Auctions with an apostrophe on eBay has a ton of Durango stuff at what I consider is an extremely good price out there as well. So if you have a Durango, that might be the place to look. The other thing is, I want to thank Joel, one of our subscribers. He reached out to me about the 210 that we had for sale, and I took it off eBay and just sold it to him. So that went out on Saturday. That will be up in Oregon. So I think he races on carpet. So he's trying to look for a gear diff option for that thing to see if he can go out there and, I guess, terrorize the carpet scene up there in the greater Northwest. So thank you to him for reaching out, and actually knew my email address and everything. So rcvintagemodelcars@gmail.com. He emailed me and got a deal done and got that out. So that was pretty smooth. And that's a pretty solid car actually for the price. $120. That car was in decent shape for Durango, and especially the rare, like I said, the rarity of them. I think the cheapest 210 right now on eBay is $400. I think it's $399. Granted, I think it does have electronics and stuff, but the electronics are old and shitty anyway, so that they're not worth anything. But trying to sell our B7. I got to put the 3-gear transmission in that. I may do that tomorrow just to get that together and maybe tinker with that. B74, I didn't do anything with except take the wheels off because I use those on my Durango. Durango is done. All I got to do is pick up a transponder, or swap one out of some car. I don't know, but I'm not racing it this weekend, so it's not a big deal. My 210 is good to go. We did the ball stud upgrade for the HD 5.5mm ball studs, put B6 turnbuckles. Not B6 turnbuckles, yeah, racing titanium turnbuckles at a 48mm length, fit on both the 210 and the 410. And then did B6 ball ends on that. Losi, I love the 22. I'm going to go to MHOR and buy every Losi part I can get my hands on, because it sounds like people are running out of parts for the 5.0, which I think is, I don't know. I don't know if I'm surprised by Losi anymore and how big a dipshits they are. You know, the 22X just comes out, and now you're discontinuing all the parts for the 5.0 platform that's been around for a long time, and guys are still running, and guys are having trouble finding arms and stuff like that. So I'm going to go to MHOR, and I don't need the rear arms, but I'm going to buy the front arms, some of the caster blocks, stuff like that for the front end. And yeah, we'll see. But the good news is A-Main did get carbon fiber shock towers in for a Losi 22, so they were out for a little bit. And I believe it's RC Extreme or something makes carbon towers for that. So I'm going to order another carbon tower for that. Johan, our winner. I've been emailing Johan, and for whatever reason, the Motor Obscura XX4 bulkhead was out of stock for a long time. I swear, when they were first in, they sent me tracking. They shipped it out on November 5th, and I still have yet to see it. I check the tracking every day, and the last beep is in Aurora on November 11th, which is not that far from me. So I don't know why that's taken so long to get here. But that's the last piece I need to send Johan his stuff. And if he was in the United States, I would have sent all this stuff out and just sent the XX4 bulkhead when I got it. But he's over in Europe, so I want to make it one package and get that through. We'll shoot a video, get that together, and then we'll get that stuff off to Johan. So pretty cool little prize pack there that we got together. since he didn't want the Astute, he wanted to pimp his Losies. We're pimping his Losies. So other than that, that's what we're working towards. Really, like I said, this week we're going to dial in. I'm going to take one last look through the Cougar. I don't think there's anything I need to do to the Cougar to get it ready. I do have a spare set of wheels somewhere in a box that I need to find that I'm going to take just in case for whatever reason. If I need to mount up some tires or something Friday night, I can do that. Same with the Yokomo. I have an extra set of rims for that. So I'm going to get those set aside. The Yokomo, the only thing I think I have to do to that is, well, I know I have to do it. I got to switch out the diffs to 10K. Other than that, I think that's good. I do use a LCG pack in that car, so I got to pull the LCG pack since it probably hasn't been ran for like 8 months. I want to make sure it's still good. If not, I might have to buy one at MHOR. We'll see. They have the new Coyote batteries, but maybe a ProTac or something like that. We'll see, because we're running the stock chassis configuration. I really don't see an advantage to swapping it out to the other side and all that with the servo ESC receiver transponder all on that side, and an LCG pack. I think it's fine balance wise, and it's never been an issue for me. So we're going to run it this weekend and see. Maybe we will do a chassis swap or a chassis conversion to that if you guys want to see that. I did like the midship conversion that someone did, and I know Michael Vollmer was doing it for the 91s, but he was only producing like 25 of them. And I do have a Vollmer 870 kit. So my Kinwald kit is all a Michael Vollmer kit. And that thing is splendid. But I don't want to race it and break it. So we'll see. But that's the update. Like I said, not much going on. Just getting some stuff together, cleaning stuff up. I have some parts coming in for another 410 that I can build brand new. But we've already built one, so I don't think guys want to see that. I'll just build it in the background as we work through some stuff. And then, like I said, racing the Cougar, racing the Yokomo this weekend. And I'm more excited probably to run the Yokomo than anything, because I think MHOR's track is fairly vintage friendly. The start finish line, there's a step up and then a step off, which you got to kind of hit right. But I think a little practice, that'll be fine, especially for 17.5. I think that, the 21.5 buggies, it's more of a timing thing, but I think we can get that down no problem. So, and then the track is not glued. It's back to just regular clay, and excited. It's been a while since I remember running on that and how it feels. So we'll run on the clay track, see what happens there. But that is the update. Some more stuff coming in this week. Maybe some more stuff going out the door. We will see. And we'll get some more stuff in. T3 will be coming to the channel. I'm going to pick that up from Scott here. Probably Friday. I'll probably run into it Friday at MHOR. We'll grab his T3 and we'll start a T3 build on the channel. Get a little stadium truck action back in the mix. And go from there. But Durango guys, unite. Because we have some good Durangos. And like I said, those are going to be our Rumble in the Rockies cars, which happens the beginning of February. So we are going to have to do some testing with our 410. Our 210 is really ready to go. There's not much I have to test on that. The setup's pretty good. The only thing with my 410, I got to figure out the spring package a little bit, I think, to get that dialed in. But we'll take it this weekend, just in case something happens with the Yokomo. And if it's not a vintage four-wheel drive class and I'm just in regular four-wheel drive, that's a 17.5 four-wheel drive as well. So we could take that as a backup, probably, is going to be the Durango. And we have everything for it. All I got to do is fill up the lightweight diffs with some fluid and switch those out. But these are definitely a lot lighter than the stock diffs with the bigger out drives. And like I said, all the metal gears and cross pins in there. The lightweight ones are, I think, going to be the ticket. So we will run those in our Durango. And who knows, maybe we'll see that run this weekend as well. And see. We'll see what happens at MHOR when the classes are revealed. And like I said, if there's not enough for vintage four-wheel drive, we may run that a little bit too. But we are going to run the Yokomo for the Yokomo fanatics out there, because I do like that car. It's cool. It's old school. So That's about it. Like, comment, subscribe right down there, and we'll see you on the next one.